Service hasn't started yet. You can keep talking. What? Oh, we're going to go ahead and start. Okay. It's confusing with new things, huh? Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful day. This beautiful day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful friends. My wonderful friends. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful day. This beautiful day.
It's beautiful even though we don't sound exactly the same as we used to. Thank you so much. It's great. You know, we're good and we're here. And welcome. I'm Reverend Bonnie, the community spiritual leader here at the Center for Spiritual Living in the heart of Las Cruces, where our vision is a world in loving partnership for the good of all. And I want to start off by inviting our visitors for the first time. There's visitor packets at both doors, and welcoming back several people who haven't been here in a long time. So welcome to those of you that are coming back, and welcome to anybody who's visiting for the first time. Please check out our newsletter and our website for all of the groups and activities that are taking place here, including some workshops. There's flyers on your way in, and the book for the workshop that Teresa's doing is in the bookstore. You can pick that up there. And I also, today, if you were watching on Facebook and in the newsletter, it said that Lillian was going to be our speaker, and she was unable to make it in today. So we have the opportunity once again to do things differently, and we're going to do that. And so we want to thank again Sarah and Doug for taking up the music. And we are collecting donations for Mary Lynn to cover funeral expenses for Randy. There's an envelope in the back that has her name on it with a colored thing that I did. So if you wanted to slip donations for her into there, I will try and run by and get that to her this week. And then upcoming, the month of March, starting next week, can you believe it? We will be focusing on living everyday wonder through play. We need a little bit of that now, don't we? So I want to invite you to start thinking about that and put for sure on your calendar to show up on March 20th. We're going to have a play date with Will Kilroy. If you don't know who he is, he's a drama professor at the university, and he knows how to play, and he's going to guide us in some fun after the service. Bring a brown bag lunch, and we will just play after the service and have a good time. We are also making plans for our treasure sale that is going to take place the last Saturday of April, but the team has said you can start bringing your things in on the 1st of April, and that's not an April Fool's joke. We mean it. So if you want to start bringing it in earlier than we announced last week, you can. They're going to start sorting things early so we can get a jump on things. So now please welcome our practitioner to the platform.
Thank you, Bonnie. My name is Tina Bailey, and like she said, I am a practitioner here in service to each one of you. We do believe in the power of prayer. We know how powerful prayer is. And so we meet weekly with a group of New Thought churches. There's 4 New Thought organizations now in town. We meet with the ministers and practitioners of those groups and pray with you on your prayer requests. So we encourage you to fill out a prayer request card that you'll find in the backs of the chairs and put it in the offering plate at the back of the room. And we will hold you in prayer for 2 weeks. Remember, they're all kept in confidence. So we do take that very seriously. So we encourage you to use that. Or you can still use the prayer request button on the website because that is checked, and those prayer requests are also sent to the prayer team. So it's pretty easy. You go to the website, click, and follow the instructions. Even I could do it if I remember to get to the website. Drives Bonnie crazy because I don't always go to the website. And is she nodding? Yes. And we would really appreciate whenever you see that your prayers have answered. And just remember, they may not be answered in exactly the way you tell Spirit you want it to be, but just know that it's for your highest good. And we'd love for you to fill out a gratitude card and put that in the back too when you see that manifestation. Now it is time for song, silence, and prayer.
Okay, we're gonna try a new song here, for new to us anyway. Hopefully some of you'll know. It's called "Pour Yourself in Me," and it's a Ricky Byers kind of a chant. So please sing along. It's real easy.
Pour yourself in me, pour yourself into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit, pour yourself in me, pour yourself into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit, pour your love in me, pour your love into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit, pour your love in me, pour your love into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit,
Pour your peace in me.
pour your peace into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit, pour your peace in me, pour your peace into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit,
Shine your
shine your light in me, shine your light into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit,
shine your
shine your light in me, shine your light into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit.
Breathing in the oneness of each heart in this room, we know that today is a delightful day as we come together with one mind, knowing that we are absolutely supported. We know that today unfolds magnificently, perfectly, and each one of us is in the perfect place here and now, and we are so blessed, and so it is. Before my readings, I want to remind you that if you're in need of prayer this morning after the service, you can just find any of us in these wonderful stalls, and we'll spend a few minutes with you. So please do that, and I'll remain up here in front for a few minutes. I have two readings. I couldn't decide which one I really wanted to do, so I said I'll just do both. And they're not long. The first one is from Living a Life of Joy by John Randolph Price, and he's the one that wrote that prayer that we're going to be doing later. In our spiritual consciousness, we know now that it is God's will for us to live in perfect peace with overflowing joy and happiness. This means that all things good, true, and beautiful have already been given to us, which includes the answer to every question and the supply for every need we could possibly have. So we live in a consciousness of have, and in this consciousness, we see each individual in this world, regardless of appearance, as possessing the fullness of the kingdom now. And from Susan Smith James, Choose to Live Peacefully. Peace in the world. When there is wellness in the mind, there will be wholeness in the person. When there is wholeness in the person, there will be harmony in the home. When there is harmony in the home, there will be forgiveness in the nation. When there is forgiveness in the nation, there will be peace in the world.
And this is a song I found yesterday called Peace in Every Step, and it's by Bodhi Setchko or something like that.
I am a prayer for peace. Wherever I go, peace goes with me. I feel peace inside. In every breath, peace abides. I know the joy of peace. I choose fear to release. Every moment, love wakes up, and peace is every step. I am a prayer for peace. Whenever I go, peace goes with me. I feel peace inside. In every breath, peace abides. I know the joy of peace. I choose fear to release. Every moment, love wakes up, and peace is everywhere. I know the joy of peace. I choose fear to release. Every moment, love wakes up, and peace is every step. Peace is every step. Peace is every step.
Thank you again, Sarah and Doug, for being our music today. I don't know if you figured it out yet, but we're focusing on peace today. When Lillian said that she needed me to come up with a plan B, and I went inside and I thought about what was going on in the world, and I thought that's what we needed to focus on today. And as a community, we're going to do that. It's not just going to be about me up here talking about it or us singing about it, but I want us to really think about it and use some of the words of Ernest Holmes to help guide us in that process. First of all, since this month it is Living Everyday Wonder, the inner life, that's where we start creating peace. That's where we start creating whatever it is. And so I wanted us to look at our inner life today. What does your inner life look like? Is it peaceful? Yeah. How do you bring about peace in your inner life? And do you believe that world peace is possible? Yeah. And that's where it starts. It starts with us inside, really being able to get ourselves at peace and believing that peace is possible, no matter what might have happened in our past to impact our peace. We do that inner work to bring about a greater peace inside, so that's where we can let it ripple out into the world. So I wanted to start with some words of Ernest Holmes. I'm taking these out of the essential Ernest Holmes, but this is from a radio talk that he gave back in 36, 37, near the end of World War I. And he believed, and a lot of people believed, that that was going to be the last war, that people had learned their lesson. Friday night, I attended a Shabbat dinner with a friend at the Avery Shabbat Jewish, I'm not sure how they say it, Shabbat Jewish Center. It was a beautiful experience, wonderful food, and the focus was on peace as well. Lighting the candles for peace, bringing in peace. And I sat next to a 91-year-old woman who was from Amsterdam, who had spent 4 years in a Nazi-occupied camp. And she said, we thought that was going to be the end. When it was over, we thought we weren't going to see this again. And so I want us to hold that vision that Ernest Holmes and these folks had way back then and bring it into the forefront, into our inner awareness. Ernest Holmes said, the 3 great enemies of humanity are war, disease, and poverty. And we believe that these 3 great enemies must finally be overcome as divine wisdom and infinite intelligence find a more complete outlet through our minds. We are conscious that the peace is the power at the heart of God, that at the very center of the universe there are equilibrium, poise, peace, love, truth, and beauty. And on this Armistice Day, and I'm going to say on this day, today, we feel that we would draw closer into this beauty, into this divine presence, into the realization of this eternal peace, which must finally triumph over all war, which must finally heal all disease, and which must finally destroy every sense of lack, limitation, and of want. We know that it is not a natural order of things for people to be at war with one another. We know that the human heart is instinctively kind, that it desires peace, it desires self-expression, it desires liberty, and it desires happiness. If we would promote the idea of peace in the world, we must begin with our own individual consciousness. The whole nation and the whole community of nations, making up as it does a community of humanity, all are aggregates of individuals like we are. And I don't know if you saw what I saw, but even people in Russia are protesting this war. We know in their hearts that they want peace as much as we do, as much as the Ukrainians do, as much as anyone in this world does. All nations are made up of groups of individual centers of thought, of will, which we call personality. For personality is really will, intelligence, and volition fused into one, making possible an individual mind and a personal expression. We must think peace if we wish to express peace. The mind that is always confused and distraught is not at peace. The mind that is continuously upset and agitated by the little petty things of life is not at peace. It is at war with itself. It is only when the individual mind ceases combating itself that it will stop combating others. So I'm going to invite you to take that thought in and just take a moment to consider where you might be combating others or even yourself in your own consciousness. Take a moment to make peace with that, with yourself, and in your mind's eye with whoever you might be battling with in your consciousness. And I'm going to continue with Ernest Holmes' words. We do not know when that far-off divine event will transpire which shall heal the world of wounds of war, the memories of ancient strife, and the anticipation of future struggle. All we know as individuals is that it is within our power to control our own thinking, to so order our own mind and thought that we as individuals shall be surrounded by peace. So again, take a moment to just surround your own thought, your own energy. Yeah, breathe in that concept of peace. Again, Ernest Holmes, peace comes from the absence of fear, from a consciousness of trust, from a deep underlying faith in the absolute goodness and mercy, the final integrity of the universe in which we live, and of every cause to which we give our thought, our time, and our attention. If we would have peace outwardly, we must first realize peace inwardly. Peace is greatly to be desired. Nations at war with each other destroy themselves, finally. We in America hope and pray and wish and think and work that there shall be no more war, that peace shall come to the nations. So again, just breathe in that awareness and that truth. It is not in our power to control the thought of other nations. We only have the power to control first our own thought, and finally, through that, the thought of our nation. In a world tortured by fear and superstition, doubt and suspicion, we feel comparatively safe in the community of nations, but there is no final safety until all nations are in peace. We cannot compel peace in foreign lands. We can think, act, and become peace at home, and in this way provide a lesson for all other races. Those of us who believe in peace should work toward this end. Let us never forget the very impulse of the movement is in the silent contemplation, the prayerful meditation, the sincere expectancy in our own minds. So again, let's just hold in our consciousness and go within to that place and hold that expectancy of peace in our minds. Are we ready for peace? When the world is ready for peace, it will have peace. When the individual is ready for peace, his or her thought will be so composed that we will find ourselves living in peace, even though to the world we might appear to be in the midst of chaos and confusion. Let us contemplate this thought. I live in peace with God as a partner. I live in peace with the great Creator, the Maker and the Sustainer of all. God is the parent mind. God is the divine source in which my life and in which all life is rooted. I seek to persist in a belief of this perfect unity with the divine. Divinity, my divinity, is at peace with God. As we contemplate these words and meditate upon their meaning with prayerful thoughtfulness, there wells up from within us, as though from some subterranean source, some unplumbed depths in our own mind, a new vision. A vision which has power to offset hate, to destroy discord, to still anguish, and to absolve fear. There wells up from within us a trust, a consciousness that we are surrounded by an infinite goodness, and that the thought of peace spreads itself beyond the confines of our own consciousness and helps that much in healing a sick world of the belief that it must fight. First, at home in the silence of our own thought, let us heal ourselves of fear, of doubt, and uncertainty. And so again, I encourage you to just take a few moments to think about where you might be feeling some fear or doubt or uncertainty in your own life as well as in what we're seeing around the world. And just let it surface. Move it into your awareness. And surround it with love and the idea of peace. And ask your higher self, what are the next steps for you to take? What is the way to move your feet to support peace in your life and in the world? What does Spirit want to do through you to support peace in your life and in the world? And take a moment to commit to those steps. Commit to what it is Spirit is wanting to do in and through you. Again, the words of Ernest Holmes. First, at home in the silence of our own thought, let us heal ourselves of fear, of doubt, of uncertainty. Let our lives be peaceful. Let our lives be whole. So shall the thought of all of us, seeing thy light, find out the way again there in the night, and let that peace which is God abide in us forever. And so we don't usually do a lot of interactive stuff during a Sunday service, but I'd like to ask you if you would share any thoughts about what our role is in bringing peace into the world. Anyone have any ideas? I'll repeat them for the audio since we are videotaping for people that aren't here. What can we do, sitting right here in Las Cruces, to support peace in the world? Pat. To hold the belief that it's possible for humans to create peace. That's where it starts. Do we believe it? Yeah. Kathleen? To listen to people who may have different opinions.
And also not judge.
And not judge. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Be kind to one another.
Be kind to one another. Matasco. To give so other people can live.
Not simply bringing it into our consciousness, but expressing and in a prayerful way our
So to bring not just into our consciousness, but expressing it somehow out into the world that we have peace. Is that how you ended that? Yeah, that we have peace. Gretchen. So remembering that within every individual is that potential for change, for love, and for peace. Yeah. Thank you. Have peaceful relationships. And sometimes we have to work at it, huh? Yes, but it does start here. You know, if we can't get along with the people right in our environment, how do we expect countries to get along? So we have to believe that it's possible and do that that's what we're talking about, the inner life this month. Do that inner work. Anyone else have a thought? So to be peace and embody peace in your own life. Yeah. And how do we get there? What are some of the tools we have to bring that into our life? Meditate. How many days do you have under your belt?
Right now I'm at 96.
All right. That is good. Congratulate yourself.
Well, I got to 285 before messing up, so.
It's all right. As long as we go back, as long as we remember what brings peace into our life, we keep doing it. Yeah. Keeping peace in our own minds. To listen. Forgive. Yeah. Go out in nature, yeah, to bring peace in that way. Sometimes we need a little help. As Tina mentioned, if you want prayer support to bring greater peace into your life after the service, we have some amazing practitioners in the room today that will sit with you. And remember that as you ask them to pray for peace in your life, it's bringing peace through their lives as well. So you're doing them a favor to have them move into that space with you. I know for me, like I mentioned last week, since there are other things besides this that added to the stuff in the world that I've needed to reach out for help. I'm working with a woman out of Denver right now, a practitioner who is also a ministerial student and a therapist, so it's perfect because she gets what we teach. And she gave me this as a thought because in the midst of some of the chaos in my mind, I started saying, well, you know, how do I get to inner peace? Because I'm still asking these questions of, well, what's the point? You know, I'm feeling helpless at times to make change, or I'm feeling purposelessness because my main purpose in life had been to be a mother. And now that that's been removed from my life, at least in the way I thought it was going to look, what's my purpose? And I did have a practitioner say, well, you've got a congregation full of people you can mother, but no. We are walking this path as equals together. You guys serve me, I serve you. So I'm not going there, hopefully. But I decided to reach out and work with her, and she said, I think right now our main purpose is to be the light. And she sent me a poem, which I want to share with you. So take this in, because I think if we don't know what our purpose is, if we don't know what we can do, this is helpful. When the lighthouse strikes its light, it does not measure the storm. It does not judge the storm. It does not say to itself, I must understand where all this is going before it shines its light. All it knows is that it was built to endure darkness, mighty wind, and the waves that will crash endlessly over its structure. It is not afraid either. It doesn't know when the storm will end, how powerful it will become, or the reasoning behind its creation. All the lighthouse knows is that it's safe and that it must shine a light in the darkness to help others find the safety of the harbor. It never questions how it becomes light, but it knows who it is and what it's for. It also knows that the light it carries is expected, and those in the dark are looking for it. Yeah. Isn't that great? So think about that as we sit here feeling maybe there's nothing we can do, that our job is to just bring that light into the world, into any places where you find there's darkness. Bring your light, however it is that you shine it. So any thoughts on that, how you might shine more light into darkness? Smile more. Mm-hmm. Yeah, when we smile at someone. And even with masks on, we can see the eyes smiling now. We've gotten used to that, haven't we? We can know when someone's smiling behind a mask.
Sometimes it helps to ask somebody for help.
Ask someone for help. Yeah. That's a different take for some of us who are like super independent. But doing that gives them the opportunity to feel important and have a purpose. Mm-hmm. Good. Thank you. Any other thoughts on that? Ernest Holmes says, I presume that everyone would rather have peace than anything else on earth. If everyone really is desiring peace, and if desire were an effective prayer for peace, then we would have had peace a long time ago. There are not many people in the world who are opposed to having peace. There couldn't be, particularly in an age when anything other than universal peace would lead to universal destruction. We are at the place in scientific discovery where it is possible for the world to destroy itself. I'm not worried about that, because if it does, it does, and if it doesn't, it won't. We will all be somewhere. However, I do think it would be rather an inglorious final exit from this mundane universe, and undoubtedly an unnecessary thing. Those are Holmes again. We shouldn't view the state of the world with fear, because we shouldn't have any fear. We shouldn't view it with timidity, because we shouldn't be timid. But we should view it with intelligence, because the only sin is the lack of intelligence. And then he puts in quotes, remember, there is no sin but a mistake or missing the mark, and no punishment but consequence. The money that is now being spent preparing for war would completely abolish poverty from the earth. It is a terrific thing that right now the world is in a position to do away with impoverishment. So again, there's a vision we can hold, that the funds are used for helping everyone on this planet have what they need: the food, the clothing, the place to live. Any thoughts on that? I'm wanting you all to have a chance to sort of take some of this in. Yes.
One of the big things that I've had to overcome is feeling guilty about not thinking positively and filled with hope all the time.
Yes. Good. So she said one of the things that she has had to overcome is feeling guilty about not always thinking positively or having hope all the time. And that's one of the things we've been talking about a lot from here, is the spiritual bypass and not wanting to do that anymore. Wanting to recognize that there are people who are living in fear right now in subway stations under the ground. There are people that are experiencing the firsthand terror, and then there are those of us who feel that and pick it up this many miles away. And so we want to recognize that and then do what we can internally to shift it for ourselves, to remind ourselves that here in Las Cruces right now, in this moment, in this room, we are safe. And if we can hold that consciousness and that vision, to hold it and then return it to them. Because we can't go over there ourselves right now. Maybe some of you can. More power to you if you do. But I think that right now we have to take what power we can and do the inner work that we can from where we are. And that's what Ernest Holmes is talking about, is that shift in our own consciousness. So don't beat yourself up, because then you're at war with yourself. right? We want to be at peace with ourselves. So if we go there and we have those thoughts, then we just sort of think of the little child. If a child is scared, you're not going to go, would you stop that? Hopefully you'll pick them up. It's okay, just comfort yourself. Give yourself a little space. And talk to yourself as lovingly as you would a little child or a little puppy or whatever when it's scared. A kitten for the cat people in here. So, Ernest Holmes has a prayer for peace for our country, but he has a little intro here. Again, these are taken from different talks that he's done. This is from a lecture that he did on peace in the Science of Mind magazine in about 1955. He said, we want peace, then it has got to begin right where I am for me. I, myself, must believe in my own prayer. When ye pray, believe that ye receive. You and I as a group must believe in our prayer. What possibilities if people in America only knew that it is possible to teach 150 million people how to do this? Or more now. We so want peace on earth. Let us pray for peace in our hearts. Let us affirm peace in our minds. Let us live as though peace were the mandate of God, because it is. Together, let us affirm it, and let us encourage others to, no matter what the opposition appears to be, for it is a fundamental reality of God, spirit, life, whatever term you want to put in there. Let us face the future without fear, but let us also face it intelligently as men and women who are not afraid of anything. There is nothing in the universe to be afraid of. Some things could be avoided. Let us realize if the world is healed of war and brought into peace, it won't have been because guns were bigger and better or more of them. We need them until it does heal itself, but that will come to pass only because somewhere along the line the balance of the scales of eternal truth shall fall on the side of peace. Let us, you and me, pray for peace, and let us make our hearts fit to accept it when it comes. And there's another key. How are our hearts made fit to accept that peace when it shows up? How do we just picture it? Can you imagine the world at peace? What's going on in our hearts? How do we accept that and allow that in? Let us make our intellect and our soul and our will and our feeling ready to receive it and embrace it even before it comes. Let us, in the stillness of our soul, go back to that ineffable presence which is peace, and proclaim it even in the midst of confusion, that peace which is the power at the heart of God. So I'm going to also read to you a prayer that Ernest Holmes wrote for our country. He printed this in 1953, and I'm going to expand it because I believe that he would, to include not just our country, but all democracies, which includes the Ukraine. I want to point out that I put the sunflowers up here, and this woman is holding the earth, and she says peace on her feet. We've had her up here a lot, but I'm not sure you know that that's what she's doing. The sunflower is the national flower of Ukraine, and so I wanted to just bring their energy here as we recognize and do this prayer for peace. And then this is a prayer for the country. And I'm going to ask the practitioners to please surround the room right now. And after I'm done reading his words, I'm going to give us all the opportunity to speak our word into the room. And this is called a prayer chamber when you do this. So it's not one person at a time. Everybody will just start saying their words at the same time. The practitioners will be saying theirs around the room. Just speak your words in whatever form of prayer. We know God hears it. Spirit is listening, is creating that energy through us. So once I'm done reading his, just start speaking your words, and when you're done, we'll move into silence and just let it settle. And see that prayer that we are holding here today going out into the world. And again, I'm going to add in for the whole world Ernest Holmes' prayer for this country. Believing in the divine destiny of the United States of America and in the preservation of liberty, security, and self-expression for all, I offer this, my prayer for my country. And we will offer it up also for all countries around the world. I know that divine intelligence governs the destiny of the United States of America and all countries, directing the thought and the activity of all who guide its affairs. I know that success, prosperity, and happiness are the gifts of freedom and the divine heritage of everyone in this country, that they are now operating in the affairs of every individual in this country and around the world. I know that divine guidance enlightens the collective mind of the people in this country and in the peoples all around the world, causing it to know that economic security may come to all without the loss of either personal freedom or individual self-expression. I know that no one can believe or be led to believe that personal freedom must be surrendered in order to ensure economic security for all. The all-knowing mind contains the answer to every problem which confronts this country and the world. I know that every leader in this country and around the world is now directed by this all-knowing mind and has the knowledge of a complete solution to every problem. Each is impelled to act upon this knowledge to the end that abundance, security, and peace shall come to all. And I know that this spiritual democracy shall endure, guaranteeing to everyone in this country and around the world personal liberty, happiness, and self-expression. So now please feel free to add your words into this prayer. And so we know that there is one truth, one life. Speak your words. Everybody join me, whatever comes to you. One wholeness, one God. That peace is present in the world. We uphold that peace, that wholeness, the truth. We see it expressed through all people, all around the world. We know that that peace is what is meant to be. It is whole and true in the hearts of all people. We know that that peace is what past all understand. We know that we step into it. We do what is divinely inspired within us to recognize that peace, that wholeness, that truth. We uplift it. We recognize it. We hold it as a truth. We speak our words knowing that they have power, that they move into the universe, that they are seen and manifest, that we are one with all that is and all those that are. And so we know that these words that have been spoken are powerful, that they are words of truth spoken through the hearts of each individual in this room, the hearts and minds, and any that watch later and join us in consciousness, that this consciousness is where the peace begins, where the shift takes place. And we feel it within ourselves today as we walk out of here, illuminated, bringing that light into the world, into any spaces where we might see darkness. We bring the truth of peace, the possibility of peace, the awareness of peace, the vision of peace. And we allow it to move in and through our lives as it moves out into the world. We uplift all those who are feeling any fear in their lives, wherever they are. And we just see them feeling a sense of love and peace coming to them from us in this space. Knowing we are all one, we know that somewhere within them they feel a flutter of hope and love. So we give thanks for our time together, for this prayer, for the words, the power behind the words, the spirit that moves in and through us, the life that we are experiencing. And we take a nice deep breath as we say together, and so it is. Thank you. So, thanks to Sarah and Doug again. We will have a song. Thank you, practitioners.
This is a song I wrote called Wonder and Delight.
Holy presence, holy light, source of living power and might, one with God, ablaze with divine love. We walk in wonder and delight. Holy wisdom, brilliant light, you are knowing, you are sight, one with God, inspired by divine love. We grow in wonder and delight. Holy laughter, most joyous light, full of goodness, blissful pride, one with God, embraced by divine love. We dance in wonder and delight. Holy quietness, gentle light, tranquil silence and a peaceful night, one with God, sustained by divine love. We rest in wonder and delight. Holy eternal one, most glorious light, depths of feeling, shining heights, one with God, awakened divine love. We live in wonder and delight. Holy presence, holy light, thank you for wonder and delight.
Beautiful. Thank you so much again for stepping up and being our music. The music makes it, doesn't it? Thank you so much. And so at this time, we think about how it is that we're giving back to our community. And that's one thing I just thought of is we don't want to stop doing the things that we know work, the principles that we live by, which is knowing that in order for that flow to work, we don't want it to bottle up. We want to keep giving. We want to keep letting it move through us. And this month, 10% of all that comes through here is going to Project Linus, and they've already sent us a thank you letter. It provides a sense of love and a sense of security and warmth and comfort to children who are seriously ill, traumatized, or otherwise in need through the gifts of these handmade blankets and Afghans. And I was just wishing we could get them to those places where the kids are hiding right now. I wish we could figure out a way to drop them a lot of cozy, warm blankets wherever they are. So let's picture that. Who knows? Maybe it'll happen. Anyway, there's a lot that they do right here in our community. There's 39 organizations in Las Cruces and Deming, as well as the local police, fire departments, and hospitals that get these blankets for kids and give them out in times of need. So again, thank you. 10% of everything that comes through here goes to them, and the Excuse me, the offering plates are at either door. We'll just drop it on the way out, but we will sing. Yes? Are we ready?
We're going to sing I Am
We're going to
So
give it a try. But first, repeat after me. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Excuse me. Thank you, God in me. And so it is. We'll sing I Am So Blessed.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Breathe that in, because we are so blessed just to be here, to be able to gather, to be able to express our opinions, to have whatever warmth we're experiencing right now in this room, in our homes, whatever meals that we are experiencing. We are blessed, and I am so grateful. We're going to hold the vision that everyone in the world gets to feel as good as we do right now. Yes? So in that light, Tina and Doug brought in for us the World Healing Meditation that we usually read on New Year's Eve morning at 5 o'clock. And since some of you don't make it at that time, we're going to read it now. It's a healing prayer for the world, and we handed them out. If anybody needs a copy, raise your hand. We've got Gary needs one right over here. Kathleen? We'll just read this together. Again, a way of bringing our energy to this awareness of world peace and seeing it go out into the world. Everybody ready? Okay. In the beginning, God. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth, and God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. Now, as the time of the new beginning, I am a co-creator with God, and it is a new heaven that comes. As the goodwill of God is expressed on earth through me, it is the kingdom of light, love, peace, and understanding. And I am doing my part to reveal its reality. I begin with me. I am a living soul, and the Spirit of God dwells in me as me. I and the Father are one, and all that the Father has is mine. In truth, I am the Christ of God. What is true of me is true of everyone, for God is in all, and all is God. I see only the Spirit of God in every soul. And to every man, woman, and child on earth, I say, I love you, for you are me. You are my holy self. I now open my heart and let the pure essence of unconditional love pour out. I see it as a golden light radiating from the center of my being, and I feel its divine vibration in and through me, above and below me. I am one with the light. I am filled with the light. I am illumined by the light. I am the light of the world. With the purpose of mind, I send forth the light. I let the radiance go before me to join the other lights. I know this is happening all over the world at this moment. I see the merging lights. There is now one light. We are the light of the world. The one light of love, peace, and understanding is moving. It flows across the face of the earth, touching and illuminating every soul in the shadow of the illusion. And where there was darkness, there is now the light of reality. And the radiance grows, permeating, saturating every form of life. There is only the vibration of one perfect life now. All the kingdoms of the earth respond, and the planet is alive with light and love. There is total oneness. And in this oneness, we speak the word. Let the sense of separation be dissolved. Let mankind be returned to Godkind. Let peace come forth from every mind. Let love flow forth from every heart. Let forgiveness reign in every soul. Let understanding be the common bond. And now from the light of the world, the one presence and power of the universe responds. The activity of God is healing and harmonizing planet Earth. Omnipotence is made manifest. I am seeing the salvation of the planet before my very eyes, as all false beliefs and error patterns are dissolved. The sense of separation is no more. The healing has taken place, and the world is restored to sanity. This is the beginning of peace on earth and goodwill toward all. As love flows forth from every heart, forgiveness reigns in every soul, and all hearts and minds are one in perfect understanding. It is done, and it is so. And so it is. And you are welcome to take this home so you can keep reading it and saying it and just allowing our consciousness to absorb this truth. I want to thank you for coming. Please share the light, and we have a closing out song that I think some of you will recognize. Sarah will start us off and then join in as you can.
This is another Ricky Byers song, and it's called I Release.
Yeah, we need to do that.
Yeah.
So if you want to stand up, you
Yeah. And please sing loudly. Okay.
There was a time in my life I thought I'd have to do it all for myself. Didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. Didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged,